We're going to tell you some stories right here.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? Running around for the musicians. Those guys are amazing. Like to be able to play an instrument and sing at the same time. I mean, that's amazing. I can't drive and play the radio at the same time. These guys are up here just making magic. So, thank you guys. So I just recently graduated with a PhD from CU. Thank you. Well, no, not CU here. No. CU South Florida. That's Crackhead University. I'm an official crackhead. It's all right, ma'am. Put your purse down. It's okay. I'm non-practicing. I'm a Generation X guy. Any Gen Xers out there? Any Gen Xers? We're the survivors of World War III. That's right. Yes, there was a World War III, the war on drugs. You know, my parents were not baby boomers. God, I wish. Baby boomers were sex, drugs, and rock and roll. No, my parents were a little bit before that, the silent generation. Right? That was the guys born in the 40s, and they didn't tell their kids shit. You know, they're like, they're not going to figure stuff out. You know, my parents, they had no clue that Brian, 10 years old, would be interested in cigarettes. I mean, the magazines had doctors telling us. You know, they were like, send your throat on vacation. Smoke a fresh cigarette. You know, they had the kid starter pack, the little packs of gum, right? Shaped like a cigarette. The kid, you got one puff, right? I was 10 years old packing a carton of gum around with me to school. You know, my parents should have seen the signs coming. You know, but I started noticing some lies, some discrepancies. You know, they didn't tell us stuff, and the stuff they told us was Nancy Reagan. Right? Nancy said, just say no. Just say no to what? Right? Just say no to drugs? Just say no to Tylenol? Just say no to penicillin? You know, it seems suspicious to me, so I just said yes. And, I started my investigation. I was like, somebody's got to investigate this. So I did it, in the name of science. You're welcome. Right? So my first suspect was alcohol. All right, Mom said, it doesn't taste good. She would say, you wouldn't like it. Right? That's what she said. Then I went to a wedding at 12. Pestered my father for like 2 hours. And finally, Dad said, all right, you can have a sip. He said I could have a sip. So I sipped with every drink. 50 guests, everybody had a couple drinks. I finished them all. And my sister, who was 16, sober, sitting over the side, I'm hammered. I got my tie around my head like Rambo. I'm 12, hanging out with a bunch of 16-year-old girls. And my sister is sober and sulking. Nerd alert. I became a hero. I went to the prom in the 8th grade. I shit you not. We lived in South Georgia, so I know it's a little sus. But still, the fix was on, so I, went deeper and deeper. I wanted to do some more investigating for the people. So my next on my list, what I call the biggest lie, was marijuana. Anybody try marijuana? Right? Well, this might be the wrong state to ask that in. You guys invented it out here. Right? But, in the 80s, when I was coming of age, marijuana was as bad as crack. As bad as heroin. There's a billboard in Vegas that said, don't gamble with marijuana. 20 years for possession. Imagine that poor sap, and that happened to somebody. Somebody got 20 years, and then they're out. Now Vegas is making money. That's enough to go felonious. I don't know about you guys, but the lie was in, right? Marijuana wasn't that bad. I tried it. Me and my buddies, we, planned an escape. We snuck out at 1 a.m., went to a construction site. The three of us, 14 years old, we split at the joint. Man, we laughed and bounced off a fence. For 2 hours. And then smashed my mom's freezer. It's not that bad. Certainly wasn't as bad as crack. But that's what they wanted me to believe. So I investigated further. LSD. My buddy had a party, took some acid. His dog turned into a monkey, chased us through the park, and our hands melted on the steering wheel. Not that bad. Certainly not as bad as meth. I don't know too many LSD addicts wandering the street. It's not that bad. So I dug on. And then I tried crack. You know, they said you try it once, you're hooked for life. That's what they said. We know they were lying about the cigarettes. They were lying about the alcohol. They damn sure were lying about the pot. Lying about the LSD, they were not lying about the crack. Thank you, sir. The crack was not a lie. Crack was dead on. Crack sent me into some horrible places. You know, 6 years in prison. I did 48 months in inpatient rehabs. So that PhD was not a lie. And, you know, I graduated from college, got my party degree, and then 4 years of rehab, I got a PhD in crack. You know, you can call me Dr. Crack. Won't hurt my feelings. I got a petition into Trump. I could be the first crackhead. You know, he's got Melona's the first wife, first lady. I'll be the first crackhead. You know, because they need to learn. We need to teach these kids a different way. You know, the way I came up was just going to teach me to try everything. You know, so I went to Crackhead University, but don't feel bad for me because, you know, crackheads are survivors. I mean, we got some famous crackheads. I mean, Whitney Houston, most beautiful voice in the world. She's a crackhead. Didn't make it. Bobby Brown, though. Bobby's good, right? Bobby made it. You know, I don't know any STP fans out there, Stunt Temple Pilots? Right? Scott Weiland, he didn't make it. But Charlie Sheen, Charlie's our president. Charlie's freaking winning. I mean, Charlie's got it made. We got Hunter. I mean, we were in the Oval Office. So, you know, crackheads are surviving. So, you know, don't feel bad for us. But what I learned along this journey is that, anybody love an addict out there? You know, I mean, there's some amazing people. We got superheroes out there that, you know, they just got their own kryptonite. They're like Superman. Seen Superman, you know, kryptonite's around. I think they mistook it. You know, it should have been crack tonight. You know, Superman smoked crack tonight. That's, you know, looks a lot like an alcoholic laying on the ground. Very similar. So, you know, but these are amazing people. You know, they've got superhero status in them. They can just come out of their shit and get away from the kryptonite. So, you know, whether you're California sober and just drink wine and smoke pot, or Colorado sober and just smoke pot, or, you know, there's Vancouver sober, just meth. Just know there's a way out. You're not alone. And thank you guys. I love you all. My name's Brian.
Brian.